Hi, this is Rabbi Orlofsky with the Parsha in 5, where in 5 minutes I try to give you a little idea on the Parsha that hopefully will add to your Shabbos. And this is, of course, Parshas Mishpatim. And Parshas Mishpatim is very interesting. Now, you might not think that to actually read the Parsha, because it's just laws. What happens if my ox gores somebody's cow? What happens if my cow goes into somebody else's field and eats? What happens in this case? What happens in that case? All kinds of different halachas. But at the very end of the Parsha, we suddenly have Matan Torah all over again. But that was in Parshas Yisro. In Parshas Yisro, we did Matan Torah. And then we come to Mishpatim, mitzvahs, 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 mitzvahs. And at the very end, we have the story of Matan Torah again. And some of the key elements are there that weren't even there in the first part. Here's where we hear about Moshe going up Har Sinai for 40 days and 40 nights. Here's where we hear about him appointing Aaron and Hur to be in charge. Here we hear him about making the bris with the dam, with the blood, on the Jewish people. Here's where we have the pasuk Na'aseh and Ishma, which is one of the classic psukim that have to do with Matan Torah and Mishpatim. So why is it there? The answer is, when you have a parsha like Mishpatim, which is filled with laws, mitzvah, 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 it's very easy to lose the forest for the trees. And you could make the mistake of thinking that here I do a mitzvah, there I do a mitzvah, here I do a mitzvah. What does it have to do with each other? And that's Parshas Mishpatim. And I would argue that the most important part of Parshas Mishpatim is the first letter. Ve'ele ha-mishpatim. Just like the 10 Commandments were given at Har Sinai, so were all of the Mishpatim in this Parsha. Ve'ele ha-mishpatim. Because I give you Matan Torah, where you reach this level of prophetic insight, where you're out of this world, where you're able to see all of the heavens above and all of the depths below, where you can see the angels in their camps surrounding the mountain, and you were able to see the sounds and hear the sights. It was mass prophecy, something that was beyond human experience for everybody who was there. And after you come down from this unbelievable experience, I say, okay, let's put this into practice. Don't punch out your mom. Don't have relations with a cow. If you see a lost object, return it to its owner. If you have an ox and it kills somebody, make sure that you pay that person for the life that was lost. And mitzvah after mitzvah of mitzvah, which is just setting up all of these rules, and at the end comes Matan Torah again. Because the purpose of all of the mitzvahs, as the Mesilas Yesharim says right at the beginning, Va'emsa'im hamagia amachoz zeh hu mitzvahs. The means that will get us to Olam Haba, to this unbelievable spiritual pleasure, the mitzvahs, they are the means to accomplish it. We have to look at every mitzvah that we do. I'm not just doing a mitzvah. I'm doing something that lifts us out of this world. I remember a woman said to me once, she says, "You think I do housework?" She goes, "Ma ani Filipino." Here in Israel, they often bring, Filipinos act as maids and aides and things. And she says, "What do you think? I'm just a housemaid?" So I do chesed all day. I make food for my family. I clean the house for my family. I do the laundry for my family. I don't just do stuff. Everything I do is a mitzvah. Everything that I do has significance. Those are the mitzvahs that we do ultimately, is to bring us back to the Har Sinai experience. In Mitzvah Hashem, we should be zaycha to experience that. Everyone should have a good Shabbos.